Nintendo Switch 2018 has been a mystery, and it became a little less murky after the mini direct. Now, is it even more clear? That's what we're talking about today. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Gabe is here, and in their financial earnings report, Nintendo revealed a calendar of games. This calendar is on your screen now and shows a list of their lineup going forward for 2018. Now, at first glance, it may seem pretty typical, but there are some interesting pieces of information here that A, help highlight what games are probably coming this year and what games are probably beyond, and B, could this be Nintendo's actual 2018 Switch first-party plan? So, Gabe, I'm just going to run through this real quick. The important information here is that Hyrule Warriors Definitive and Mario Tennis Aces still don't have dates beyond spring 2018. The World Ends With You Final Remix, Fire Emblem, Yoshi also do not have specific dates, but are penciled in as 2018. The real goods are at the bottom, where Pokemon RPG for Nintendo Switch is listed as 2018 or later, and then Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4 are listed as TBA.
I think we can easily identify what most of the months are going to be, Zach. Like you said, the interesting stuff here is at the very bottom. So, since Hyrule and Mario are spring, do you think that they're just going to fill in just consecutive months there? Is that what we think is happening?
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I was beginning to wonder, is you've got Bayonetta as the February title, Kirby Star Allies as the March title, Labo hoisting up April, even though it's technically not like a tried and true Switch game. It is coming out as a physical product with cartridge and cardboard. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze as the May title. Yeah, could Hyrule Warriors fill in as June and then Mario Tennis Aces as July? That would definitely not put Tennis Aces in spring, right?
Yeah,
that would not be the
that's
case.
Summer,
so it would have to get pushed. Maybe they double up in April. That is sort of my feeling. I bet we get Hyrule Warriors in April along with the Labo Toy-Cons, or maybe the other way around. Maybe we get Mario Tennis doubled up. I could even see May doubling up since it's sort of port season. Maybe we get a port month with Hyrule Warriors and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. But beyond that, regardless, you still could kind of slot in the rest of these titles throughout the month. So you say, okay, working backwards, Pokemon RPG is the big November, mega hit. And then Yoshi is their October game. September is Fire Emblem. August is The World Ends With You Final Remix. Maybe we get, maybe one of these Mario Tennis Hyrule does slip to July, or perhaps we get, a Mario Maker port right after E3. But this could be their 2018 calendar, Gabe.
For the most part, right? You just mentioned E3. I still think we get an E3 announcement of something that is happening this year. I don't think Yoshi is going to be an October release. I really hope not, right? I want my October release to be something big, like way bigger than Yoshi. So we'll see. And this is 2018 or later for Pokemon. Do you want to talk about that for a little bit? Do you think that's happening? I mean, obviously they're trying, right? That right. Seems to be the sentiment.
That seems to be the idea here. It's either that, or they don't want to say because it's a big E3 reveal, or on the complete contrary, they are just saying it's 2018 or later to appease investors, when in reality it's not coming this year at all. I mean, if I had to give you my gut, Gabe, I would say that there are more titles waiting to be announced for this calendar year besides what you see on the list in front of you. But if we go based on the one game a month plan, they could technically stretch this to fill out all of 2018, which I think is just an interesting point. Pokemon, Bayonetta, Metroid, let's get to them in a second. I just first want to ask, if this is their calendar, are you okay?
No, I'm not. I definitely need more, right? Hyrule Warriors and Donkey Kong being ports, Bayonetta being ports. There's so much of this is just ports. So they have
to, with you.
Yeah, exactly. So they have to do something to appease people that are on board for the Switch that also had Wii U's. Because if you already played a lot of stuff, World Ends With You was obviously not on Wii U. But yeah, I need more. I need more. If this is it, something else has to happen. And it can't see. And here's the other thing: the something else can't be a Mario Maker port,
right? Because it's more ports. Yeah, I do wonder if. Well, I mean, last year they utilized Mario Kart 8 and Pokken as tentpoles for their months, so they're not opposed to doing that. I think just at this point we feel like, okay, we want more. So we'll have to see on that front. Let's get to that final section of the list, Gabe. Does this pretty much finally confirm that Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4 are in no way hitting this year?
I mean, to be clear, I never thought Metroid was hitting this year. I don't think the TBA necessarily means that it's not this year, to be honest. I to be blunt, I don't think it happens this year, but I also don't think it. I think they're trying, right? I think the games are in development and they have milestones that they need to hit. And at a certain point, if they hit them, then they can announce a date. But I don't think that they're ready to put 2018 on this just for fear of, hey, then something happens that we can't make it 2018, then we got to like push it back. So I think that's what the TBA is all about. But yeah, I've made my position clear. I don't think we get Metroid or Bayonetta or honestly Pokemon this year.
I do feel we get one still, but to me, this is sort of Nintendo saying, like, if you're getting one, it's going to be Pokemon. And granted, TBA doesn't necessarily mean anything. We get placeholder dates all the time. We get TBAs all the time. Who knows what they want to do in terms of an E3 reveal? Who knows if they are worried about development and pushing to see if it's finished in time? But this is pretty much the best and closest confirmation you're going to get towards how they feel about the order of these things, which to me pretty evidently indicates that Pokemon is ahead of the other two, which would make sense, I think, given what we know about the different projects and just also what we've seen at face value. I feel like that makes a lot of logical sense. 2018 or later is such a weird turn of phrase. It gives them so much leeway, but I really do hope it hits this year, and I think that it would set the holiday season on fire once again. We just discussed how the last holiday season, the first holiday season for Switch, they pushed over 7 million consoles. You bring out Pokemon, you can do that again, maybe even more.
True. Yeah. I mean, if Pokemon comes out, absolutely another win, I think, for holiday for Nintendo, unless, Sony and Microsoft do something huge. But I was going to ask you, you asked me how I felt about this year. How do you feel? Like, let's say this is the year and we have no other announcement. You okay with that? Let's assume Pokemon comes.
If Pokemon comes, I'm pretty okay, because I feel like Pokemon is going to be a major game and a major mix-up in the same vein of Mario Odyssey or Zelda Breath of the Wild. And if they are able to do that to that franchise and that property, then I think that kind of, carries a lot of weight. We also know there will be more third-party titles. We also know in the fall there should be a lot of day-and-date titles. We also know there's going to be a plethora of indie titles, so this would not be the exclusive games list. It would be the exclusive games list, but not the exclusive games list, if you get what I'm saying here, for the Switch. I would, of course, love to have more. Personally, I would far rather shift Yoshi and The World Ends With You back into the first half of the year and leave some space for something either wholly new or a bit of a surprise. But, because look, you say, okay, Fire Emblem is going to be big and bold, being the first console Fire Emblem in quite some time. And they have had insane success, sales and quality-wise, with the recent Fire Emblem. So that could be bigger than I think maybe we want to believe. The weird one to me is Yoshi. I don't see that, like, kind of like you mentioned, Gabe, I don't see that as being like a tentpole fall title. So, I don't know. Furthermore, what I think this may reveal, though, is a upcoming Direct. I feel like they could have given us dates for Hyrule Warriors and Mario Tennis, or at least months. And the fact they didn't, hey, we now need a Direct to tell us that. They're not going to just randomly one day wake up and say, hey, Mario Tennis Aces is coming out next week, right? So, like, we most likely are getting a Direct to at least give us updates on Labo, maybe Kirby, and probably dates for Mario Tennis Aces and Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Yeah.
Plus, I said this earlier, I just want to make it clear, I absolutely think that there are a couple other Nintendo-made games that we just don't know about for this year.
Yeah, look, there's no way they go into E3 with nothing to unveil. We don't know the size or the scope of the things they're going to unveil. It may be more ports like Mario Maker and Smash Bros., but hey, even if that was the case, that would be absolutely massive for this platform. So let us know how you feel about this calendar that Nintendo included in their financial reports, and how you feel about if this was the year Would you be a happy Switch owner or a little bit of a sad face Switch owner? Also, Pokemon 2018, Metroid and Bayonetta, not this year for sure. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's confirmation, or do you think it's just more Nintendo being a little bit cautious and potentially coy? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch and this stable of titles that are coming your way soon. We'll be covering all of them. Until next time, everybody, for myself and Gabe, Switch Force